Welcome to the African Diaspora News Channel. This is B. As promised, this week I will be focusing on the Democratic Republic of Cameroon, its political climate, and issues affecting its citizens. Cameroon has had the same president for over 36 years. Mr. Paul Biya was elected into office in 1982, and he has won every election since then. In the presidential elections in 2018, he secured himself yet another 7 years, ending in 2025, for a total of 43 years as a president of a democratic country. Let's examine the words democratic republic. A democratic country or a democratic government is based on a form of government in which the people choose leaders by voting. A democratic country or government or political system is governed by representatives who are elected by the people. Something that is democratic is based on the idea that everyone should have equal rights and should be involved in the making of the important decisions. The literal meaning of the word republic, when used to reference a form of a government, it means a country that is governed by elected representatives and by an elected leader rather than by a king or a queen. Also, a government in which supreme power resides in a body of citizens entitled to vote and is exercised by elected officers and representatives responsible for them and governing according to law. In a republic, a constitution or charter of rights protects certain inalienable rights that cannot be taken away by the government. Well, looking at the descriptions that I just read, Cameroon is not a democratic republic. For those that have been following the elections that just happened in Cameroon in October of 2018, you will very quickly come to the conclusion that they do not fit, or that country or that regime or that administration does not fit into the description that we just looked at. Paul Biya's being in office was not an election by the people. It was an election or a self-election or an election by his administration or by the people that he put in place to orchestrate the results to favor him. Fortunately, the opposition had put structures in place to record the voter turnout, to count the number of people that were voting for different parties in different voting stations. And so from the reporting that came from those elections, it was clear and obvious that Mr. Maurice Kamto won the elections. The next day, or a couple days later, I believe it was the next day, Mr. Maurice Kamto announced that he had won the elections. After that announcement, he was charged for not obeying the law and there was a hearing that took place. In fact, most of the parties that were opposing Paul Biya came forward, and there was a hearing that was done, but the president of the Constitutional Council, Mr. Clement Atangana, declared Mr. Paul Biya as the winner of the 2018 presidential elections, hence making him the president of the Democratic Republic of Cameroon. Mr. Kamto's party, which is the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, did not stop. He has continued to have peaceful rallies in Cameroon, encouraging the citizens to stand for their rights, their freedom. And in all honesty, even without Mr. Kamto, the diaspora, the Cameroonians abroad, have been protesting and having rallies, disputing and asking for either a recount or another election. So in a nutshell, because of the rigging of the 2018 presidential election, there has been political unrest in Cameroon. Not to mention, there was already existing problems in the English speaking part, because Cameroon is a bilingual, but the English speaking part has felt that it was not represented properly in many sectors, in the government and in different places. And so they have been asking for a change that never happened, and so they actually have wanted to separate from Cameroon and form another nation, which is called the Ambazonia. Now, Mr. Maurice Kamto is a man who is keen to reunite the English speaking part, which is forming another nation called Ambazonia. He is working hard to reunite the English and the French to make one strong nation which can function as one body. In his most recent peace rally, Mr. Kamto, the leadership of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, and the citizens of Cameroon were marching to call for peace in the English speaking part, basically calling for a ceasefire, because the current administration has the military killing people in the English speaking part. So Mr. Kamto's goal or agenda for the last rally was to call for attention, so that the administration, the current government, can pay attention to the English speaking part and cease fire. Well, in that rally, a peaceful rally where the president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement and the leadership of that party were marching in peace alongside the supporters. The current administration, or rather the military and the police, started shooting at them. In fact, they shot two of the opposing party's leadership, and one of them actually made a statement in a French news channel 24. She stated that the inspector that shot her told her that he's shooting her so that she wouldn't be speaking to the news channel. Now, please help me understand how this country is a democratic republic. How can this kind of things be happening in this day and age? And let's bear in mind that the current administration is the same administration that has been cutting off internet for the citizens of Cameroon, especially the English speaking part, so that they are not able to record and stream the kind of persecution that they are going through on social media. Can you believe that? That a government can shut down internet so that citizens of a democratic republic are not able to stream the persecution that they are going through in their country at the hands of this government. That to me does not sound like democracy. That to me does not even sound like a present day dictatorship. These are things that were done way, way, way back in the day. As if shooting the opposition party's leadership was not enough, a couple days later, they rallied around their homes and locked them up and took them to the political capital, which is Yaoundé. And this is weeks ago. And since then, they have been locked up. There has not been any type of hearing, and no one is able to know what is going on. In fact, it took that party 4 days to know where their leadership was. Today, it came to the citizens' attention that Mr. Maurice Kamto, the leader of the Cameroon Renaissance movement, has been remanded at the Kandangi prison, where he will be detained while waiting trial. There was an article that was written about it, and it says Maurice Kamto, alongside other members of the party, was sent to Kandangi after spending hours at the Yaoundé Military Tribunal on Tuesday, where they were grilled by the state prosecutor. At least 7 charges were brought before the leader of the Cameroon Renaissance movement, some of which are rebellion, hostility against the fatherland, insurrection, complicity in destruction. Other key members and allies of his party who have been sent to Kandangi include Albert Nzonganga, Celestine Jamin, and Alain Fogu. Now, these charges they're very disturbing because this man is charged with things like insurrection. Insurrection is a violent uprising against an authority or government. Okay, let's get this straight. First of all, it is impossible to do that in Cameroon, because every step you make there is military presence, and more so military presence and police presence who are ordered to kill. How can that even be a charge? Who would risk their life to do that? Other things are hostility against the fatherland, complicity in destruction of what? The people that have been marching have not destroyed anything. The only place that there has been destruction of property is the English part, which has nothing to do with Mr. Maurice Kamto. These are things that had been going on for the last 3 years, and it has been more so because the current administration is not willing to sit down with the English speaking people. They are not willing to listen to their issues. They treat them as second class citizens and send military there to shoot and kill protesters. Who does that? What president of a democratic republic does that? Clearly, Mr. Beer is not seeing himself as a president or a leader who's answerable to the people that elected him, because he was not elected by those people. He's elected himself, and he's turned this democratic republic into a dictatorship. I mean, this is the worst that there is in our time. So let's talk about Mr. Maurice Kamto and where he's detained or imprisoned. This is happening as we speak. As we speak, this is happening. Mr. Kamto is held at Kandangi Central Prison. Kandangi Central Prison is a maximum security prison in Yaoundé, Cameroon. It has been the subject of numerous international criticism for its overcrowding and poor conditions. The facility has 16 toilets and 400 beds. It has 16 toilets and 400 beds. In 2002, prisoners were fed 1 meal a day. In 2003, the U.S. Department of State issued a scathing report on Cameroonian prisons in which it noted that Kandangi was severely overcrowded, housing a population of 9,530 people. Okay, this is a facility that has 16 toilets and 400 beds. How on earth can it house 9,530? As a facility that has 16 toilets and 400 beds, housing 9,530 people. And this is in 2003. God knows what's going on there now. In 2011, Amnesty International described the prison conditions to be harsh, with inmates suffering overcrowding, poor sanitation, and inadequate food. Prison guards are poorly trained, ill-equipped, and their numbers inadequate for a big prison population. Okay, well, those are just prison guards. Even the military and the police themselves are not well trained. So you can imagine how the prison guards behave. But for real, to have 9,530 people in a facility that has 16 toilets and 400 beds in 2003, that is crazy. And this is a maximum security prison. Why would they have the president of the opposing party, who has been having peaceful rallies, who has on several occasions told people not to riot, not to destroy anything, but to demonstrate peacefully. His goal and agenda was to bring light or to bring attention to the crises that are going on in the English part. His peace rallies would have forced the current administration to pay attention to the killings that are going on in the English part. But because this president does not want to be held accountable, he does not want to look at the issues that are affecting the Cameroonians. He just wants to live his life like he lived in the last 36 years. Then it's convenient to get the opposing party leadership in prison. That way there's no one who is shining light to his inadequacies. This to me is shameful to be happening in the continent in this day and age. And being that the people in Cameroon cannot protest, they cannot hold peaceful rallies, they cannot even talk about the situation without fear. It's shocking to me, even when you try to ask the Cameroonian citizens, they will not speak about this in public. And so it leaves us, the diaspora, no choice but to take up the button and help or support Cameroon to bring these issues to light. That is why I decided to do this video, to ask that the diaspora will support the Cameroonians. If you are listening or watching this video and you know an organization that can help the country of Cameroon resolve these matters, please feel free to share this information with them, and let's all come together and support Cameroon and other countries in the continent that might be facing the same circumstances. We know what's going on with Zimbabwe and other countries, so feel free to share these videos so that we can expose this mess that's going on in the continent. Let's stand together as a people of Africa and support the countries that are going through it. I thank you for watching this video, and I ask that you would like, comment, and subscribe. I also encourage you to click on the notification button. That way, whenever we put out more videos on what's happening in the diaspora, you will be notified. This week I will be doing more videos on Cameroon, and I encourage you to visit the channel, and let's all work together to bring light and solution to the issues that are affecting Africa. I love you so much, and we appreciate your time, and see you on the next channel, on the next video. Thank you for watching.